Alright, so the Mishimoto did give me a good clean look. You can see that hammer finish matches the cob here, the C word. So happy with that aesthetic so far. Couple of issues though. You see there's a little bit of interference there, just barely touching the coolant hose. Shouldn't be a big deal, but something I'll keep an eye on. Might want to wrap that with something to try to kind of get ahead of anything that might happen. So I'll fish around for something I could wrap around there. Otherwise, you can see it just kind of gives it a good little stealthy look. Kind of looks kind of low key. I'm liking that. So I've been getting the black components. My air oil separator, same thing. Just kind of looks like it goes there. So I had ordered a cob intercooler, but since that was being delayed, and that happened right about the time I already had my everything ready to go. I canceled that, and I'm glad I did now that I found out what cob was doing to us. So I did order the Mishimoto. Really appreciate MA Performance. They've come through every time. They don't make promises they can't keep. They'll check for stock, see if they have something they can drop ship or something from a distributor. And I got this thing next day, and I was running out of time at a new job starting. I had lost a whole week because of promises from another supplier, and I wanted to get this thing tuned before I started all that, so then I could kind of start monitoring it and enjoying it, but it's kind of delayed everything. So moving on. Another issue with which is not major, and I'm going to fix that in a minute, is this pipe here, or the bracket rather. Nice good secure mount down here, and that's where the intercooler mounts. But then up here it just kind of holds this little bracket that catches this piece of rubber here and just creates your flow across your intercooler. But there's nothing mounting back here because of my strut tower brace. I can't come down all the way and get this thing to sit flat, and it rattles when I go over some bumps. So I have some rubber I'm gonna stick in between that'll space this out and also bring this down a little bit. I did check it, close the hood, and this still clears good. Got, everything's operating properly. So I'll do that, and then just find a way to just zip tie that on. Otherwise, I mean, it clears my strut tower brace. Everything seems to be tip-top shape. Comes with a little spacer there. Uses the existing bracket here. There's a new bracket on that side. That's a challenge. I had to have somebody hold this, the bolt up here, and I had to actually go from underneath with a long extension and fasten the nut for that, but did it. Not a big deal. What else? And then got myself an E-tune, so I'll tell you about that. I'll do a kind of as detailed a video as I can on that, because there aren't any that I could find. So I'll describe just kind of the process started, how the instructions came, what the instructions were. They should be very similar to a lot of the E-tunes. I don't know how you could be much different. And so I do like the fact that I did get the cob access port, but the one thing I'm just very dissatisfied about is how they rolled out their green initiative, their GRIMMSPEED thing, because they should have given people warning. They know that the supply chains are slowed down. People are waiting on, they've got their parts, spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on this stuff, and basically got reamed because they wanted to just roll it out. So I don't appreciate that, and so I'll remember that when I need parts going forward. I will try to avoid Cobb for the time being unless they do something right. They're going to probably cost me about $1,000 and a delay of a week on my tune, so that's not appropriate. I don't know how they're going to recover from that, but good luck. Anyways, get off my soapbox, but you know, that's the reality. All right, so here's the 3-inch catted, I guess you can call it the V1 J-Pipe from GRIMMSPEED. I installed this as Cobb was deciding to roll out its, I'm sure, much planned GRIMMSPEED initiative. So just before, GRIMMSPEED also came out with a V2 that has the catalytic converter right here in the stock location. On this one, it's down at the very end of the J-pipe, just before the mid-pipe. So I do have clean air coming out, but the problem is my O2 sensors aren't getting any readings in the catalytic system, so all that carbon monoxide or carbon dioxide is kind of going through across both O2 sensors. This is the upstream, this is the downstream, and there's supposed to be a difference as it flows through the catalytic converter, and then kind of adjust the air and fuel mixture so that you get as much oxygen burned as you can, and just also monitoring, making sure you're scrubbing your emissions before it goes out. So I have clean emissions, and this thing has a lot of flow, and I can tell you it picks up a lot of torque, getting a lot more power. And it's just amazing, but what I'm not getting is a good O2 system, so I had to space my O2 sensor out, and you'll notice that this is different than if you have your stock one on. It'll basically be sticking up, so I had to put this adapter on. And then just bend this little bracket holding the connector on, and so it's a really strong bracket, so no problems there. Nothing too crazy on the wires, solid. Takes it out of the stream of the exhaust, so you get a little less flow through the sensor. So hopefully that'll get rid of my check engine light. But I do have to tell you, this thing gave me a lot of torque and good amount of horsepower with all the cool air coming through. And so be aware also the reality of putting in a J-pipe on a used vehicle is that those studs and those nuts you're going to have at least one that's going to seize on. Get a lot of I'll show you what I used to soak, but there was still one down there in the corner that I just couldn't get, and so I had to have a mobile mechanic come down and hammer that sucker out with a pneumatic chisel. So get one of those before you start this if you have a used vehicle that you're going to put this on that has, you know, some thousands of miles on it, because you're going to have some headaches. So that's it for the J-pipe for now. Like I said, great horsepower pickup and big time torque. This thing pulls good. So let me show you some other stuff. All right, so for my turbo inlet, I had ordered the GRIMMSPEED, the new turbo inlet. It's made of solid aluminum, but it was just taking too long. It was delayed twice, and it kind of blew that plan. So I just told them to cancel it for now. I did get my 3-port boost control solenoid, so now I have a little more control over the boost, and basically the existing stock pipes, tubes, and the little orifice that's in there that controls the flow are gone, and then it's all so controlled with the solenoid here. What else? This is my cob intake. I've had that for a while. And then my charge pipe is new. A little hard to see, but here's my new Mishimoto charge pipe, and that'll go up to my new intercooler. So that charge pipe kind of relocates my bypass valve, and comes with this hose. So this hose is new. So this is coming down here. Before it's kind of coming in back here. Lighting is a challenge down here. Let's see what I can do. So the bypass valve usually from stock comes out of here, but that's where now I have an adapter, and then so this comes off of the side of it, and then here's my little pilot port of some sort, and then let me show you the top side. But it would have been nice to get my inlet, but I guess there's a lot of people purchasing these, and it's just promise after promise broken, so I just said forget it.